Go to school, get a job, save your money, buy a house, find a partner, start a family. That's the life plan most of us were handed before we were even old enough to understand what life actually was. And before I get started on this yap sesh, I'm not saying that path is bad. No, not at all. For some people, that's the dream. A stable job, a home, a family, a simple life, a routine, a sense of security. I live around plenty of people that would do anything for that lifestyle. I mean, to anyone, that just sounds amazing. I would even say to myself that I would probably enjoy that lifestyle too. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But for a lot of Gen Z, something about that plan just doesn't feel the same anymore. It doesn't feel as guaranteed, doesn't feel as realistic, and honestly, it doesn't even feel as exciting. Maybe it's because the economy is different, maybe it's because buying a house feels, well, almost impossible now, maybe it's because we grew up watching people build entire lives from a laptop, or maybe it's because deep down, a lot of us have this weird ache that says, I'm supposed to do something more than just survive. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel that constantly. See, I think a lot of people in Gen Z have this pressure in their chest when they think about the future, right? Like, you don't just want to get through life, you want to do something with it. You want to build something, create something, help people, make something meaningful, start something that is actually yours. And yeah, maybe that sounds, a little dramatic, maybe that sounds unrealistic, but I think it's real. Because, well, the more I look around, the more I realize I'm not the only one who feels like this. You see, I work around creative people all the time. I work with a literal YouTube film team in person. I work on channels like this one on the daily. I talk to book writers, artists, YouTubers, freelancers, directors, business owners, charity owners, pastors, people who are literally building things, creating things, and just trying to make something out of their lives. And being around that kind of environment has honestly made me realize something. Gen Z isn't just rejecting the old idea of success because we're lazy or entitled. We're rewriting it because the old version doesn't work the same way anymore. For a long time, the formula sounded simple. Do good in school, get a degree, get a stable job, work hard, save money, buy a house, retire one day, and enjoy the life you build, right? And again, that path worked for a lot of people. It still can work for some people. I'm not here to act like everyone should drop out of school, quit their job, start a YouTube channel, and go live in a van. That's not the point. The point is that the old path just used to feel like a promise. Now, it feels more like a gamble. You can go to school and still not know if you'll get the job you want, right? You can get the job and honestly still not make enough money to live the way that you imagined. You can work full-time and still feel like that you're barely keeping up. You can save money and still watch house prices move further and further away from you. And I think that's where a lot of the frustration comes from. It's not that Gen Z doesn't want to work. It's that a lot of us watch the reward for working get further and further away. I mean, we were told, just work hard and you'll be fine, right? But then we looked around and saw people working extremely hard, consistently by the way, who were still stressed, still tired, still underpaid, still renting, still unsure, still barely getting by. So of course, people started asking different questions. Instead of, how do I fit into the system? A lot of us are now asking ourselves, is there another way to build a life? And honestly, I think that's one of the biggest reasons this generation is so creative. Because as soon as the traditional path starts to feel less secure, people naturally just start looking for other options. And what if I told you that that was actually, well, a good thing? Because guess what? Gen Z has more options than any generation before us. Guys, you can start a YouTube channel, you can edit videos, you can freelance, you can design thumbnails, you can make music, you can write online, you can start a clothing brand, you can sell digital products, you can build a business from your room, you can literally learn almost anything for free. You can reach people across the entire world without needing permission from massive companies. That's genuinely insane when you actually just sit and think about it for a second. There are people building careers from things that didn't even sound like real jobs 20 years ago. I mean, even 5 years ago, with AI now being the new thing. And I think that really changes how our generation sees success. Because now, success isn't just one thing. It isn't just a suit, an office, a mortgage, and a retirement plan. For some people, success is freedom, or it's creativity, or it's just making enough money to not feel trapped. For some people, it's being able to wake up and actually care about what they're doing. For others, it's building a community, making videos, writing books, starting a business, making art, helping people, traveling, or just living a life that feels like it belongs to them. And I think that's why the old version of success feels so limiting to a lot of people now. Because, well, we've seen too many possibilities. Once you've seen someone your age build something online, or make money doing something creative, or turn a random idea into an actual career, it's really hard to pretend that the only option is to sit in a job that you hate for 40 years straight just because someone told you that's the responsible thing to do. Now, hold on. At the same time, though, I don't want to pretend that this is all easy, because it's not. It's actually really hard. Like really hard. Yes, Gen Z has more tools than ever, but we also have more noise than ever. Just think about it. Everyone is posting. Everyone is building. Everyone is trying to be seen. Everyone is trying to make money online. Everyone is trying to turn their passion into something real. So yes, there is technically opportunity, but there is also pressure. And not gonna lie, I think that pressure is something a lot of people just don't talk about enough. Because when you grow up online, you don't just compare yourself to the people in your school or your town or even your friend group. You compare yourself to everyone. You see 19-year-olds making millions. You see 21-year-olds buying houses. You see creators traveling the world. You see entrepreneurs posting insane numbers. You see people your age who seem like they have everything figured out. And even if you know deep down that social media is fake, I mean, even I say to myself it still gets to you. Let me tell you, I'm 20 years old myself, and even though I make not even good, but like okay money doing freelancing right now, I still feel incredibly behind, or sometimes lost. You can be completely fine in real life and still feel like that you're falling behind because some random person on your phone looks like they're 10 years ahead of you. We have more opportunities than ever, but we also have more comparisons than ever. And that combination can really mess with your head. It messes with mine all the time. Because on one side, you, well, feel inspired, right? You get to see what's possible and think to yourself, maybe I can do that too. But on the other side, you feel behind. You start wondering why you haven't done more yet, why you're not further, why your life doesn't look like theirs. And that can make not even normal, like it can make great progress feel like failure. You could be learning a skill, saving money, working a job, posting videos, building something slowly, improving your life one step at a time, and still feel like you're losing. Because online, in all honesty, slow progress doesn't look impressive. But in real life, slow progress is usually how everything is built. And I think that's something you guys watching, and honestly me included, needs to remember. Because rewriting success doesn't mean you have to become famous. It doesn't mean you have to be rich by 25. It doesn't mean you have to turn every single one of your hobbies into a business. It doesn't mean you need to prove yourself to everyone online. That's just another trap. Like, if the old trap back in the day was follow this exact path or you failed, the new trap in today's generation is build an extraordinary life immediately or you failed. And yeah, both are exhausting. So maybe the real point isn't that Gen Z needs to reject everything traditional. Maybe the point is that we just need to choose intentionally. Because there's nothing wrong with going to school. I mean, I'm in school right now as a backup if everything does fail. There's nothing wrong with getting a job. There's nothing wrong with wanting a house. There's nothing wrong with wanting a family, and there's nothing wrong with stability. Not at all. I want those. Like, I'm sure a lot of us do want those. The problem is when people follow a life they don't actually want because they never stop to ask themselves if they actually wanted it. That's where Gen Z changes the rules of success. We ask more questions. Sometimes too many questions, honestly. Sometimes we overthink everything. Sometimes we get stuck because we have so many options that we don't even know where to start. But at the same time, I think asking those questions matter. Do I actually want this career, or do I just want people to think I'm successful? Do I actually want this lifestyle, or am I just following what I was told? Do I actually care about this goal, or am I chasing it because it looks good online? What would I build if I stopped waiting for permission? What would I try if I wasn't so scared of looking stupid? These are all uncomfortable questions, but I think they're important. Personally, those questions cycle in my head constantly. It's genuinely really exhausting sometimes, and for a good reason in my opinion. I think success should not be something that you just inherit from the generation before you. It should be something that you define. And hold on, that doesn't mean that your definition has to be crazy. Your version of success might be simple. It might be peaceful. It might be a job you like, people you love, or enough money to not constantly stress. That's success. Or maybe your vision is building a business. Maybe it's making videos like me, or maybe it's becoming an artist. Maybe it's starting a charity. Maybe it's just working for yourself, or maybe it's just creating something that impacts people, right? And that's success too. You see, I think the mistake that people make is acting like there is only one correct answer because, well, there isn't. And honestly, I think Gen Z knows that better than anyone. We grew up seeing so many different ways to live, right? We saw people with normal jobs who were happy. We also saw people with normal jobs who were absolutely miserable. We saw creators who looked absolutely free, and we saw creators who burned out. We saw business owners win. We saw business owners fail. We saw people chase money and lose themselves. We saw people choose simple lives and seem genuinely at peace. So in all honesty, I think our generation is just trying to figure out what actually matters. Not just what looks impressive, not just what makes our parents proud, not just what sounds good when someone asks, so, what are you doing with your life? But what actually makes life feel worth living. And that, guys, is not an easy thing to figure out, especially when you're young. Because when you're in your late teens or early 20s, everyone acts like you're supposed to have this perfect plan, right? Like you're supposed to know exactly who you are, what you want, where you're going, how you'll make money, who you'll become, and what your entire future will look like. But come on, most people just don't know. Most people are guessing. I mean, I was guessing for the past 2 years. Even the people who look confident are probably guessing. And that's completely okay. I think part of rewriting success is admitting that we don't have everything figured out yet. We're not rejecting the old path because we have all the answers. We're rejecting the idea that there is only one path. That's the difference. And maybe that's why creativity matters so much to Gen Z. Why? Well, because creating gives you a sense of control. You see, when the world feels expensive, unstable, confusing, and overwhelming, creating gives you a small piece of your life back. You can write something, you can film something, build something, post something, start a project, improve a skill, You can take that idea that only existed in your head and actually make it real. Even if it doesn't make money right away, even if nobody sees it at first, check my past 2 videos, and even if it's not perfect. Because every time you do create, you're proving to yourself that you're not just a consumer of life, you're a participant in it. You're not just watching other people build their dreams, you're slowly building your own. And yes, sometimes we're distracted, sometimes we're anxious, sometimes we spend way too much time scrolling, sometimes we compare ourselves too much. But underneath all of that, I think a lot of Gen Z genuinely wants to do something meaningful. And you know what? Some people will say, that's just not how the world works. But let's be honest, the world has already changed. The economy changed, technology changed, work changed, the internet changed, the cost of living changed. So why would success stay the same? Why would we use the exact same definition of success in a completely different world? That just doesn't make sense to me, honestly. So no, I don't think Gen Z is lazy. I don't think Gen Z is broken. I just think Gen Z is looking at the old life plan and realizing it doesn't guarantee the life it used to. And instead of blindly accepting that, we're trying to build something different. I don't think Gen Z is trying to destroy the idea of success. I think we're trying to make it personal again. Like I said many times before, for some people, success is a degree, a stable job, a house, and a family. And that's genuinely beautiful. Who knows, I might fall down that path and I would not be upset about it. For others, it's building something creative, starting a business, making videos, helping people, traveling. I've said it 1,000 times, you get it. The point isn't that one path is better than the other. The point is that we're finally asking whether the path we're on is actually ours. And maybe that's what success is now. Not just doing what you were told, not just following the formula, not just chasing what looks good from the outside, but building a life that you yourself actually chose. Subscribe for more Yap Sessions.